Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thanks for coming, everybody. I trust everyone had a good weekend. We certainly had great weather, didn't we? Last hurrah. The town was bubbling with people. And so is the river and bays and lakes. It was good to see. Roll call, please.
Artie Bryson.
Here.
Tom Kruger.
Here.
Karen Straffen. Here. Tom Fetter.
Here.
John Horvath.
Absent excuse.
Joanne Shirkey.
Here.
Cindy Valentine. Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Next thing on the agenda is bills payable. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the bills payable in the amount of $70,149.04.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion? Any questions? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Karen Straffen. Yes. Tom Fetter.
Yes.
Tom Kruger.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine. Yes. Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Do we have any public comments relating to anything on the agenda? Any public comments on anything on the agenda?
One back there.
You want to come on up and state your name and address and...
Okay, Paula Burgess, 5909 Point Trumbull Road, Algonac, Michigan, or Clay Township. And my question is, it's pertaining to the Pearl Beach Fishing Pier. We kind of have mixed feelings because we thought this was going to be a place where people could swim, fish, have a good time, hang out. And I don't know that that's kind of how people feel when they go down there because there's no ladders to get in and out of the water. So my question is, are we going to promote this as a place for people to go swimming, or would we rather not have people swimming there?
I don't have a problem with people swimming there, and it's on the agenda. We're going to have the swimming ladders replaced.
Are we? Okay.
There was a problem with people tying their boats up to them, and their aluminum ladders, and they were breaking.
Oh.
So we're going to alleviate that problem hopefully tonight.
Okay. And then I do live in the area, and as a child I swam over there, so I kind of have a little connection to that.
No.
But and it was a great place, growing up in Pearl Beach and having that fishing pier where you could go down and just kind of gather with your family and friends. But we also have Darren Gabriel's facility is right next to it, and there's some confusion as to what is his and what is the township. So hopefully the signage issue will be discussed on that one too.
Right, and after meeting, or give me your email, I'll send you a copy of phase 2, what we're doing on
perfect.
land.
Okay.
There's a parking, we're going to put a parking lot in where the road is at the end.
It's beautiful. I mean,
it's going to get better.
It's going to get better, yeah.
Yep, we're only halfway there.
Another thing that I may want to point out to you too, because I do walk over there often, we have a lot of fishermen, which is wonderful. However, they don't normally carry brooms with them, so when they spill their black dirt from their, and there's little Doritos laying around, is there any way that the fireboat can just like hose that off every once in a while and clean it out? Because today it was a little black down there, I'll be honest.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good, thank you. Any other public comments relating to anything on the agenda? Come on up, please. Oh my God.
I promise you.
State your name and address, please.
My name is Dan Steele, 1880 South Channel Drive. And I hate to do this, but I'm going to say golf carts.
Okay.
I own one. I've had one for 8 years.
Yep.
It's licensed. It's no longer a golf cart. It's an assembled vehicle. And I have noticed over the last few years, on South Channel, I see 10-year-old kids, 4 and 5. But when I got mine, the state of Michigan has some very good laws, and I would not want to downgrade that. I mean, 10-year-olds are not allowed to drive any vehicle on a road.
Right.
And we need to stay as close to those laws. Where we've let down is the public And I don't want to say the police department per se, but we haven't enforced the laws as they are. And it goes for a lot of parents.
Right. And if we adopt this proposed golf cart ordinance, you'd have to be at least 16 years old and have a valid driver's license.
And before you even did this, the law is the same.
No, it's not.
You can't drive on a road. You can drive on a road under 16 years old?
Nope. You can't drive a golf cart, period.
Okay.
So we're going to make it legal so you could drive your golf cart.
Will that be enforced?
Well, I hope so.
Are we planning to?
Yep. Yep. But, as it is now, it's harder to enforce.
I know it is. because
You would be
it's-
mad if we gave you a ticket, wouldn't you?
No, actually, I had a police officer stop me,
Right?
but the second year I had it, pulled me over and told me I shouldn't be driving on the road. And as he walked around the back of the vehicle, he looked and he said, "Oh, hell,
You got your
you've
license.
got a license plate. You've got to
Right,
be the only
right.
one on the island that does."
Yeah, exactly. And mind you, this is only going to be, for mile per hours under, or 35 and
Yeah,
under.
It's the same law as
Yeah,
Michigan.
so,
I just want to make sure we don't overdo it because everybody has fun, but
Right.
I'd like to get the kids off the roads.
oh yeah, definitely. And that's hopefully what we're trying to do.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other public comments? Anything on the agenda? Okay, hearing none. Move right along to consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of minutes of the board meeting of August 17th, 2015, and the synopsis, reports from the fire department, water department, assessing, and police, communication from the road watch report and the MTA fall conference, and supervisor approval to attend the fall conference October 21 through 23, 2015.
That's Matt's.
That's the MATS conference.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, supervisors report. I'd like to mention, first of all, we got some good news last week about, well, actually, the first time we applied was 2 years ago. We didn't get it last year. SEMCOG, they wrote a grant, which Clay Township is part of, with the Lake St. Clair Collaborative Invasive Species Control Group. Basically, it's the Anchor Bay watershed, and it wraps around to part of, actually in the Lake St. Clair watershed. It wraps around to about between us and Harris Township. And we made the first, second, and third hurdle, and we're just waiting to get rubber stamped that we've been awarded this grant to fight Phragmites. And what it will mean for Clay Township, about $34,000 to fight some Phragmites. It will go towards chemicals and some equipment and some other things. Our intention with, I've been meeting with SEMCOG the past 2 weeks, had 2-3 meetings with them. There's a new grant out. It's a federal grant by the EPA under the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative. They're the same people doing Crispin Drain and the sturgeon reefs and a lot of the other work around here. This grant will pay for any public, private, industrial property, municipality-owned property, schools, whatever, 2 years of without a match for cutting and treating and cutting for 2 full years. And the only thing the property owners would have to do is sign an affidavit. After that, they would maintain the Phragmites on the property. And this is, if we're awarded this grant, it's a huge, I mean, the first 2 years, it's if you treat Phragmites, I mean, we found you're going to get rid of about 85%. And then from there on, you just have to treat it like you do dandelions, squirt, spot treat a little bit. And I can't imagine anyone not wanting to be in this program. I contacted the Elginak schools, they're in on it. I'm sure Pearl Beach Lions is going to be in it. Right now, all I have to do is give them an estimate amount of acreage. I don't need specific names and addresses and property lines. I have to have the list together by October 21st, or I'm sorry, September 21st, so I only have a couple weeks. So anyone even interested in this program, shoot me an email, supervisor@claytownship.org, or stop by. I need to know your name, address, and about how much of acreage you have, if it's a half acre or a full acre, just an estimate. We're really hopeful for this. We have not been rejected from one grant we've applied for from the GLRI. They are very, they like us.
Sympathetic to us.
Yes. And Phragmites, whether you like it or not, it's a Clay Township problem. The whole watershed in Lake St. Clair, the whole watershed of the lake, there are 12,000 acres of Phragmites. In Clay Township, we got 8,500 of them. Ira has 500 of them, just for example. So it is a Clay Township problem, and like I say, they're sympathetic towards us. So we're going to be working on that, and if we do get it, it will be a 2016 program, run through 2016 and 17. Okay, let's talk about another popular situation is our roads on Harson's Island. I had several meetings with MDOT, with the county road guys, the contractors, county road guys with MDOT, county road guys with the contractors, and every other combination. They are going to fix approximately 9 of the 11 miles that were done. The middle channel, everyone seemed pretty satisfied with a portion of that. And I demanded that they actually fix the parade route for the Turkey Shoot Parade before Labor Day weekend. They were there last Tuesday, and they did that section of road, and it came out pretty good. I was happy with it. They are going to come and do the rest of the repairs sometime in October. And let me tell you, they did exactly the parade route. They did South Channel Drive to LaCroix, and they stopped right at the fire station. You could think they'd go another 200 yards to the stop sign, but no, they didn't. But they're going to come back in October and do the rest of it. And what it is a micro seal they're putting on top of it. Is a mixture of cement, tar, and sand. And I don't know, everyone I talked to was happy with that section of road that they fixed. So I want to reiterate, we did extend a no passing zone on M29 by the Colony Tower. At our last meeting, they did paint the lines, but the signs have not been moved. They have been moved. So from basically the no passing zone only extended around the curve to Audubon, maybe, where the Colony Party Store is, but now it's extended past Flamingo where those apartments are. That's a dangerous corner. Whenever there's an accident, it's not pretty, and hopefully this will prevent 1 or 2 accidents. All right, corner in Nook and Field, that's going to become a 3-way stop soon. Not sure exactly when. Let's see. I've been doing a lot of facilitating with the Crispin Drain projects. The shovels actually hit the ground last week, and they're moving right along. It's a pretty interesting project. I heard some people talking back out there. You ever see all those white bags? Everyone's curious what they are. There's tons of them. It's actually corn stalks and corn cobs that they took and they ground down to a powder. And what they do with this, they put it in the dump trucks, and when it hits water, it absorbs the water and it swells up. And they say it prevents all the mud and slop from going out the back of the tailgate and onto the roads. And you could tell these guys been around the block once or twice, and it seems to be working so far. So that was just a little side note. So yeah, we've been busy with that, and it's going. I'm glad shovels are hitting the ground, and it's going. So we had a meeting with the wastewater treatment plant, and the county runs that for us. It's like a authority with Clay Township, Algonac, and Ira, and they told us in a couple of years we're going to have to get a new grit removal system. And what that does, the wastewater, the grit is kind of like a soil and sand that's in the wastewater and hard corrosive products. And that's the first process it goes through. And to pull, and I'm not sure exactly yet the new process they want to put in, but if you don't pull that out right away, it plays havoc on the rest of the system throughout the process of the wastewater treatment plant. Anyhow, they have an estimated cost of about $500,000, and we had some discussion. We're going to get quotes on doing the engineering first, and that would be next year, and then probably the following year is look at putting this new process in place. I asked them for a 20-year asset replacement plan for everything. Like we recently did one about a year ago for the water plant, and I'd like to see the same thing on this plant, because how it's nice for budgeting, because all of a sudden we typically put 35 grand into a fund, and it gets built up that you don't need anything. Then all of a sudden, oh, we got to spend $500,000-$600,000, this year, and then we might not for 5-6 years spend anything. And it's nice to kind of level out and create a sinking fund to anticipate these things. So we're going to be working on that, and I'll have more discussion on there on this. But the county does an excellent job on the wastewater treatment plant, and they've always been under budget, and actually in the past 5 years, the operating budget has declined because of better processes put in. We put a bar screen cleaner in a couple of years ago, if you remember, and that was a cost of about $250,000, and it's reduced our costs quite a bit in that plant. So just wanted to mention too, I had a chance to tour the schools it was about a week and a half ago now. And it was really good. The teachers, they received a grant for, it's called Leader in Me, and to teach, these kids more respect for themselves and others, and to take control of their own lives. It's a really good program, and it was exciting to see, because the teachers, it wasn't mandatory that they came and participated in this. And I talked to the elementary teachers, the junior high and the high school. They had over 90% participation that came in a week early to learn about this. And I tell you, there's a lot of positive momentum in with the school, and it was good to see. It really was. It was nice to see. I want to mention the music in the park. That concert series is over with, and it went well this year. And we had a lot of participation. I think we probably averaged 300-400 people a night in Clay Township Park, and it had great response. It's 100% supported by sponsorship, which is another great thing, and all the sponsors are happy. It's one of my favorite things, that's for sure. We are looking at actually doing a movie in the park around Halloween. They bring up these blow-up movie screens, and they project it like the old drive-ins. I was thinking about doing an event with a couple scary movies near Halloween, and maybe we'll get some of your cadets or something dressed up in scary stuff and scare the kids and run around. And I was even thinking of of teaming up with how they do the trick-or-treats out of trunk, events. And so people could park their cars around before and they could do a trick-or-treat event. It's in my brain right now, but I just want to mention that, and we're going to be looking for sponsors. The water tank alarm on Ainsworth that we voted, I think, a couple months ago to get replaced so we can get rid of that AT&T phone line. That's in place and working, and we disconnected that phone line, and good thing because it went up another
$298.
$298 a month. Unbelievable. So that's done. Let's see, next meeting, I'm hoping I'm going to have amendments to our water, sewer, police, fire, and general budgets. I should have that done, and we'll make a little tweaking on some line items. The corner of Ainsworth and Taft, it's the southwest corner by the Pearl Beach Lions. I really wasn't quite aware of it, but Clay Township owns actually all three of those corners, the two on the school side and that corner. And because I always thought, man, that looks not good. And
I've been working on it.
well, no, the township owns it. And now there's a tree, I know there's a tree about 9 foot tall there, and it's illegal because it blocks view. I'm getting quotes to do some landscaping there, take it right down. We're gonna have to bring in a little bit of black dirt and get some nice shrubs and do some landscaping there. I'm gonna first present it to the DDA. I would guess that they would be all for it, but if not, I might bring it back to this board. But, and I just learned today that the two corners on the school side, I said, boy, there's nice flowers in there. Who's doing that? Well, it's actually the bus drivers group that kind of took ownership, planted the flowers. So I made initial contact with them today. Hey, if we landscape this, will they kind of maintain it? The township will, give them a little bit of money to plant flowers and stuff in there.
Nice.
Keep it nice. So 'cause that's an important corner. A lot of people, and visitors come through there to see our mighty muskrats, 2-0. 2-0, how about that? And they are rated 3rd in the Times Herald poll for our area.
Nice article in the.
Yeah, they're good. Go Rats.
I'm going to tell you, our youth football also.
Yes.
3 of the teams went.
Right.
So,
And
first weekend.
the JV and freshmen, they're doing well also. This senior year is the first year that, they started the youth football group, and this senior year is the first one that went all the way through it.
Yes.
And you can tell Cindy's involved in that. I just wanted to mention too, tomorrow evening, I'm having a meeting with the County Parks and Rec up in Fort Gratiot. And we're going to be talking, I asked to be put on the agenda about our beachfront park here. And I'm going to be rather strong and blunt with them, that they need to ante up and do something here. And I'm hopeful because there's 4 people on that commission now from down in our area between Algonac and Clay Township. Like I say many times, Clay Township sends them $200,000 a year in tax money for their parks and rec. Our nearest park, county park, is about 30 miles from here. The way I look at every 5 years, we buy them a park somewhere. It's about time they put one here. So I'm going to be, it'll be interesting. That's all I can say.
Do they tape it?
Huh?
Do they tape it?
I don't think they tape it. And if they did, they might have a beeper. I don't know. Upcoming events, farmers market still going on Thursdays from 3 to 6 in the park, and it's been going great. The Clay
The Greater Elginak Chamber of Commerce is doing a car show September 13th in Elginak. They usually get about 100 cars for that. It's a good show. And September 19th is the Reader's Cove on Harson's Island, their chili cook-off. This seems awfully early to talk about chili, but I'll be entering that one, and I fully intended to win. And that concludes the supervisor's report for today.
When's the chili cook-off?
19th.
I'll say next weekend it's gonna be cold.
Yes, it's going to be chilly then too, starting tomorrow. All right, under unfinished business, we have the peddler's permit. I have nothing on that. I'd like to postpone that. I'll make a motion to postpone. Okay, we have motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's postponed. Golf cart ordinance. I have before you, and how this works via the Public Act 300. Oh, it's 259.657A. We are the first township in the state of doing this. So, and how it works, we have to pass a resolution that we want to make golf carts legal on certain roads and the stipulations. And it says in this act where we can allow it and the speed limit and who can do it. And it's pretty granular, and I agree with all of it. We passed the resolution, and then we have to send a resolution up to the county commissioners. And they must actually hold a public hearing and approve us to, they have to advertise for 45 days before the public hearing and approve us to actually pass the ordinance before we do. Is that right?
Yes.
Did I explain it right? And then at that point, we can actually pass the ordinance. But we did talk about this at our last meeting, and I'll briefly go over the highlights. Person shall not operate a golf cart unless he or she is at least 16 years old and licensed to operate a motor vehicle. Operator of the golf cart shall comply with signal requirements, blah, 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 and apply to the operation of a motor vehicle. Essentially, they got to obey by the same laws as a car does. Person operating a golf cart upon a roadway shall ride as near to the right side of the roadway as practical, exercising due care when passing a standing vehicle or one proceeding in the same direction. A person shall not operate a golf cart on a state trunk line highway, including M29 and M154. You can cross it, but you can't go down it. Where a usable designated path for golf carts is provided adjacent to the highway or street, a person operating a golf cart shall be required to use the path. We don't have any of those. A person operating a golf cart shall not pass between lines of traffic, but may pass on the left of traffic moving in his or her direction in the case of a two-way street, or the left side of the right, or left or right of traffic in the case of a one-way street in an unoccupied lane. Golf cart shall not be operated on a sidewalk constructed for use of pedestrians. Golf cart shall be operated at a speed not to exceed 15 miles an hour and shall not operate on a highway or street with a speed of more than 30 miles an hour except to cross that highway or street. golf carts shall not be operated on township streets during the time periods of 1/2 hour before sunset to 1/2 hour after sunrise. A person operating a golf cart who is a passenger of a golf cart or the passenger of a golf cart is not required to wear a crash helmet. This resolution does not apply to police officers operating golf carts in the performance of his or her official duties. We don't own any golf carts. Golf cart operating in a township street is, under this resolution, is not required to be registered under the Michigan Vehicle Code for purpose of section, this basically means you don't need a vehicle insurance in your golf cart. As used in this resolution, golf cart means a vehicle designed for transportation while playing the game of golf. Golf cart is not required to meet the vehicle safety requirements of a low-speed vehicle for approval of this resolution. And talking to the chief, he would like to see us require a permit for the golf carts. Or a registration, a sticker, basically a little ID sticker. Reason being, if we see a golf cart abandoned alongside of the road, we can look up, oh, that's number 319. We can find out who owns it. Or if there's a 12-year-old kid on there, we know who the owner is. And the ticket would actually go to the owner of the golf cart. And if so, I would replace 13 with this one that I put in front of you. And then 13 would become 14, 14 would become 15, so forth. Permit. No person shall operate a motorized golf cart on the roads or streets within Clay Township without first obtaining a permit from the township, except no permits will be required for parades. A validation decal, a person operating a motorized golf cart by permit shall have the proper validation decal display on the golf cart when operating motorized golf cart. The sticker, a person shall operating the motorized golf cart by permit shall have a current sticker displayed on the front left side of the golf cart. Stickers can be obtained by completing and submitting a proper registration form to Clay Township free of charge. The permit shall be valid for 3 years based on a calendar year. If a permitted golf cart is sold, a new owner shall obtain a new permit of the golf cart. Any questions? Does the board feel, I talked to PDQ Printing, they can print the little decals. I didn't get the price. He said it's like $20, you know, for 300-400 of them. And we'll put the date on there similar to like a boat registration with a little number. And we can have them do a registration at dispatch probably, or our office. Probably be better at dispatch. Or I just soon even put the form online, and they could fill it out online, and we'll mail it to them.
So they'll go to the police department to get it.
Or we can do it online. Because the police department will be the one maintaining the list. It'll just be a Excel spreadsheet. And we want the sticker to be on the left-hand side, so when they're going down the road, if a police officer passes them, it's right there, you know, instead of on the back or wherever. I got a lot of this information from like ordinances in Florida and Arizona where they're pretty prevalent, and all the limits as far as age and speed limits and hours. That's how it's spelled out in the code, exactly like that. Pretty much cut and paste those parts in here. So if the board wishes, we could pass that ordinance with amendments and.
Artie, question on number 14, look at 14. Does that, I'm not reading that right, or it doesn't sound like it's being, there's word in there and shouldn't be in there, or? Or is that just,
It's basically saying that this resolution, this is a standard one.
insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution, be and they hereby,
All the other resolutions that we pass are rescinded.
but is that be and they hereby? I mean, is that,
I don't know, this is attorney jargon.
Yeah, you can clean that up.
Yeah, we can clean it
that
up. It does look, yeah.
It's,
Basically, it should mean
might
that
be like a typo or
Yeah, it
a comma.
is.
Comma's in there or
there's a
something.
comma.
Yeah,
Here, that comma goes out, the last comma. So, I mean, basically,
Yeah,
they do
yeah.
that, so any other
right.
resolutions about golf carts that we passed 50 years ago is rescinded. So,
Artie, on number 1, shouldn't it be a person shall not operate a golf cart unless he or she is at least 16 years old?
yes, unless, thank you. So much for cutting and pasting. So do we have any more discussion? Yes. For the board? You already had your chance.
I was just going to ask you about breakaways.
Is it? It's not required, because they're during daylight hours only. Okay. No more discussion? Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to to pass a resolution to authorize the operation of golf carts on certain Clay Township streets pursuant to MCL 257.657A.
Plus the amendments
Plus the amendments
for permits.
concerning the, and listing the permit requirements.
Okay.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Tom Feder?
Yes.
Tom Kruger?
Yes.
Artie Bryson?
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey?
Yes?
Karen Straffen? Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Under new business, police request to purchase used tasers. Chief, you want to address the board? I'm tired of talking. Sorry, I am. You're tired of listening to
I
me.
could say you should be.
I know.
Roseville Police Department is phasing in some really elite tasers, and their trade-in value for these tasers are $180 a piece. And they run, as you remember, I bought a couple and they were $900 each, brand new. Then we had to buy the cartridges and everything. The deal I have with them is that they will supply us with all their used cartridges, either cartridges that they have for these tasers. And that we will also get the holsters, and we'll get some other mapping data that we need for the computer on it. And that stuff comes out to about $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 if we bought it. This will provide our officers, everyone, to have their own taser. So they can keep them in their lockers, they don't get passed along, they're responsible for them. Keep them in working order. When they need something, they're responsible to come to me and say, it's broke, we need to get it fixed, or my battery's going dead. There's also some batteries that are attached to it, and they took good care of us, so, and they are good working condition. They have like 30-some of them. We get our first pick of the top 13. So I was requesting to buy 13 of them at, I lost my paperwork.
$180 a piece.
$180 a piece for a total of
$23.40.
$23.40. And it falls under our guidance of our forfeiture money, which we have a lot of. and that we kind of, the auditors want us to start spending that.
Spend it down.
And bring it down. And I didn't have anything slotted for that money as of yet. That's kind of for things like this. So I'm requesting the board's permission.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of 13 used tasers for a total cost of $2,340.
Support. Any discussion? Hey, Chief, who do you test these on when you get them?
Well, if his reports go longer than 5 minutes or anymore, I'm going to recommend the supervisor.
Okay, yeah, right. That's how you know they're good. Okay, no, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, next we have dangerous building zoning. First is 4700 South Channel Drive. And you got the report. If you have any questions, Sid's here, our building inspector. He deemed this as an unsafe structure. And through our new building ordinance, it goes before, we give them notice, and it goes before our building zoning, or our dangerous building hearing officer, and he determines if it is unsafe and puts in the order to take it down under following conditions, and then if after a time it comes back to us we can either agree, say take it down, or we can say no, you don't have to take it down, or amend the conditions as a board. I did talk to Leonard today. He is planning on taking the boathouse down, and he's actually got a permit for another boathouse behind where this one's located at from the DEQ. But he hasn't gotten a permit to do it yet. And so it's the board's pleasure. He tells us he's going to take it down, but he hasn't done it yet. So
So then it's up to us to take it down.
yeah,
I mean, all the procedures gone through according to what I have in front of me.
Right.
And we can legally proceed with that.
exactly. It's whatever the board chooses to do. You can see, we condemned it June 9th. You've seen pictures of it. There's parts of the roof missing, and actually, we had this on the dangerous building list under the prior owners, and we ordered it for 5 years, right, Sid? And they sold the property before it was actually finalized, so with the property sale, we have to start over on it. Is there any, Leonard or anyone here to speak on the behalf of this one? Okay.
So they have a bond on that, or some way of paying us for taking it down?
Well, what we have done in the past, we would tear it down, and either we have the water department, or this one, it's a boathouse over water. I would suggest we get quotes from a contractor to do it, get a couple quotes, and whoever's the cheapest, have them remove it. I don't think John wants his guys working over water. And then whatever it costs, we put it on their taxes. So that's our decision, and we can order it to go down. And I mean, he did tell me he was going to take it down, but like I say, there's been no action.
Well, I'll make a motion to the effect that we move ahead to have it taken down, and you get some quotes on it and proceed. It seems like it's been a long time, and enough is enough.
Okay,
Support.
we have motion and support. Any more discussion?
I remember correctly, didn't this gentleman come to a meeting and say that he was buying the property?
No, that was a different one.
Okay,
It was a son.
okay.
That's the one on 8150, I believe. Didn't he got a permit?
He corrected the problem, and that
Oh, good.
Right.
case is closed.
Yeah, that one's closed, that one's off. Originally, we had 6 or 8 on here.
6,
But-
these are the last 3 that.
Right. Okay. Okay, so we have motion and support. I do believe we have to do a roll call on this.
Tom Kruger,
Yes.
Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Karen Stratton.
Yes.
Tom Fetter.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next, we have 8345 Colony Drive, another boathouse. Is there anyone here from Andrews or to speak on this? Okay, hearing none. Same type of thing. They were at the dangerous building meeting, and you said you want to. Didn't they say that they agreed to the $5,000 bond and they were going to pull a permit?
Mr. and Mrs. Angers were at the meeting. They had a drawing from an architect for the renovations. The hearing officer told them that he was going to recommend that they could renovate it, but they'd have to post a $5,000 bond and pull their permits to do that. When they got the written ruling on it, they said, we don't have $5,000, we're not doing anything. And we have not, they have not been in the office since then, so. This is on Anchor Bay Drive, or on Colony, and it's the first one over the first bridge there.
Yeah, over the first bridge on the right.
It's an eyesore, so, and I don't know that the building is worth what it would take to fix it.
Underneath, it's pretty dilapidated.
Yeah, it's got a lot of waves in it, and a lot of rotted wood.
Now, Sid, when we take down the boathouses, like I know when we tear down a building, we're required to take the footings out.
These, we would have to pull the
Pull
pilings.
the
I'm sure
pilings.
the Corps would require.
Right, either pull them or cut them?
Whatever they require, yeah.
Okay, I'll just find out on that. Yeah, that's what I was saying, they'll probably break off.
It's
Or you
this-
pull the boathouse out, they'll pop up.
So I understand that they don't have the money to post the bond, which means then they probably don't have the money to fix it.
Right.
So I would make a motion that we get quotes on tearing it down.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any other discussion?
Do you also want to say and proceed to tear it down too?
Right,
Yes.
right. And I'm guessing they have a lot of things in this boathouse.
It's
Maybe,
a shame, it's a big night, you know.
maybe a
It's a
boat,
big boathouse.
so,
Once they're
Okay,
gone,
Sid.
they're gone.
I did go look at it, it's pretty jammed.
Artie, to be fair to the people, I would recommend that in any of these, that we send, the board authorize the building department to send a letter stating that we are taking bids for the tear downs and that they have 60 days in which to remove all their personal belongings. After that point,
Right.
the township could come in at any point and do that. But I'd like, a motion from the board to do that so that, everybody knows that it's a legal thing that we're doing.
yeah, I have a hard time tearing something down with, without giving a chance to.
Oh, I guess I just assumed they'd take the stuff out, but.
Does the board, do you want to amend your prior?
Yes, that they have 60 days to remove any of their belongings out of it. And we will send them a letter to that effect.
Okay.
Is that's it? Draft letter, yeah.
Well, we have to vote on her amending the.
We're voting.
That just as a general.
General, yeah.
for all of
Yeah,
these?
yeah, let's make, you know what, we'll make it we should do a policy on that,
Yeah, I mean,
but,
To get done with all of them, why don't somebody make a motion for all of these?
Yeah.
Send a letter.
But truthfully, especially with these marine contractors, it's gonna take 4 or 5 months to find someone to do it. Yeah, you know, they're all busy, and truthfully, this is winter work
On the ice.
for these contractors. They're gonna want to do it in winter months, so. Okay, so, where are we? Do we have motion on the county drive? We do.
Yes.
And
Yes,
support.
yes.
Any more discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Artie Bryson?
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Karen Straffen?
Yes.
Tom Feder?
Yes.
Tom Kruger?
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Our last one is 7346 South Channel Drive. This was actually on a out island. It does have a little bridge to it, but it's not connected to this property, I don't think. But there again, it's on a remote island. The people don't even live in the state, do they, Sid?
They do not, and I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry, good. Good, you want to come up and?
Not really, but.
Okay, well, what do you want us to do?
I got the letter for the June meeting. I wrote a letter back, certified mail, that I was out of town, which I
Okay.
was. It wasn't a story. I think it
No
was,
problem.
well, they never answered and said, well, we'll postpone it, or when can you make it? This one, I got a letter Thursday of last week. When I told my son, his comment was, oh, I guess they don't want you to show up. You give 5 days notice to show up. Long and short of it is, my ex-wife and I got divorced 8 years ago. This was part of the divorce decree. The house I'm living in, the marital residence, still hasn't been sold. I've been trying for literally a year to go through the legal process to get her to cooperate to get rid of this and the other house. I just talked to a lawyer in the parking lot. He more or less said, I'm not interested in doing post-divorce work. I can't make enough money doing that. So I've been going round and round. The unsafe conditions with mainly the back porch that kind of got hit by a tree and that. And again, I fixed that, sent a note to that effect. I guess whoever looked at it said nothing was done. I don't know what they looked at. I essentially blocked it in, put some posts in. There's nothing right now that's unsafe. And again, it's an out island that nobody should be on it. People have broken in before, but again, it's not safe, unsafe for kids, pets, or anything. So that's where I stand. You know, I figure you'll do what you'll do.
So
I would ask, the one thing I would ask you to do, I'll give you my ex-wife's address. I forwarded this stuff to her and haven't heard a word back.
So it's in your name or your ex?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's the problem.
Are you guys going to try to sell it, or?
Yeah, that's what it was her, in the divorce decree, it was her to get a realtor to sell it. And again, part of the problem is she thinks that they listed it for $120,000.
Yeah, right.
It's maybe worth 50 or 60,000.
Right.
And that's what I'm dealing with. Let's sell it, well, it's worth, anyways.
Okay.
It's an ugly mess is what it is.
More ways than one.
More ways than one. So I'm doing, my neighbor that, again, we tried originally, but with all the septic stuff and, all the rigmarole to do something with it. My neighbor has made a lowball offer, which again, I forwarded. I'm paying taxes on it as if it was still what it was worth before. So you guys are getting a pretty good deal out of it as far as the taxes. So I'm contributing.
I think it's worth $120,000.
So anyway. That's my sad story.
What would you like us to do? I mean, are you?
I don't think it's unsafe right now. Like I said, I've tried again to initiate the process. Again, I want to give you her name and address. Maybe you
still
can
in
send
Ohio?
her a letter that's, pardon?
Is your address still in Ohio?
Yeah, and so is her, but she moved a little further away, but.
But she's got a new address.
I literally haven't spoken to her in over a year.
How do you not laugh? How do you not laugh?
When did you allegedly fix up this place?
Allegedly. I don't remember exactly.
Was it months ago or years ago, or?
No, 2 months ago, after I got the letter
Okay.
that it was gonna come back in June.
Have we been out there, Sid, since then?
The only, the picture on the back is the only thing that I've been able to get close to and see. And that part of it has not been material.
That's pretty bad.
That's the side of it. The back, the porch is what we.
Well, in this roof and everything that's, you know, that's not a safe condition according to the building.
No, it's safe in what way? I mean, it's not gonna fall on it.
But that's not a safe condition according to the
I
and the
don't
definition.
So you're not gonna fix it though, right?
Pardon?
You don't have plans on fixing it?
No.
Daryl, could you practice on this one? Do you have contents in it?
Nothing, no.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Ty. I'm sorry for laughing, but.
Now well,
So I guess my point is, you know, a little more time, maybe I can get it, you know, and again, I can send a letter saying.
yes, and the letter.
We haven't had your wife's address, have we? Patty has it?
Has it been sent?
Have we been,
We had contact with her when this whole thing first started.
Has she received all of this information all the way along?
So
I forwarded it.
we only sent it to the letter of record.
Oh, yeah, okay.
want to give her another 30 days longer? We'll do it in 90 days?
Yeah, we need to make sure that both owners of the property are up to,
But if we don't hear back from her in the 90 days, then we'll go through with
Yeah.
getting the bids to tear it down and proceed with tearing it down.
Want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion saying that. If you
Support.
understood my motion.
Okay, the building department will copy the, Annette, is that her name?
Yeah.
And with her new address, and we'll give her at least 90 days. And if we don't hear from her or her attorney, we'll proceed. We have-
90 days from today, or?
we send her notice.
I
Thank
think it
you.
might be easier to sell without the house on it.
Are we in consensus?
Yes.
So copy on that, 90 days to respond, no response, the board to proceed with,
Tear down order.
I'd verify the address of the
Yeah.
spouse too. Make sure we do have the right one.
so just, Sid, you've just looked at it from afar then, and took this
I
picture.
was
You
out
haven't
by-
actually been in it,
I was
or?
out by it several years ago, Cindy. This was on the old James building also. This was another one that we started up again.
It wasn't working and we fixed it. The ordinance. Okay, we have motion. Do we have support?
I supported it.
Tom, support? Karen.
Karen.
Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Artie Bryson?
Sure, yes.
Cindy Valentine? No, I just don't feel I have enough information. Joanne Sharkey?
Yes.
Karen Straffen?
Yes.
Tom Fetter?
yes,
Tom Kruger?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. All right, fire department approval to hire part-time firefighters. Daryl, you want to?
Daryl, I would say thank you for giving the board a copy of the credentials or the resumes of the
Okay.
firefighters. They're quite
Basically, we have
qualified, very
five
qualified. Yeah.
firefighters, trainees. They have, all five of them have firefighters 1 and 2. 3 of them are paramedics and 2 of them are EMTs. What's IC? One of them is IC.
Instructor coordinator.
Instructor coordinator, okay, so
They can teach.
they can teach classes.
Correct.
Good.
I'll make a motion to approve the, should I name them all? The 5 trainees to be hired by the Clay Township Fire Department. They are James Gatano, Marta Walsh, Louis Perkins, Ryan Gogian, Goshan, and Matthew Stazuski, I think.
Did that very well.
one better than
That
I
was
could.
good?
Stazuski, yeah.
All right, we have a motion.
But these aren't trainees, are they, Daryl?
Well,
What it
they're
says.
gonna be, we consider them to be
This
trainees
just
for
said
the first 6
part-time
months
firefighter.
anyway.
Anyone you hire is a trainee for,
Yes, for
a
the
while.
first 6 months.
What does it say training?
Support.
okay, we have motion and support. Any more questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next we have a discussion on the firefighter safer grant employment contract for the 6 full-time guys will be, or women will be hiring. And I sent this to our township attorney Zick with all the description of the jobs, and he came back with this contract, and I wanted to get the board's approval before we go and actually put names to fill in the spaces and bring those before you. Just remember, we wanted to make it clear that, you know, after the 2 years that the grant is over with, that we don't make any guarantees of employment, and they are at-will employees. And we could, you know, if we lose the funding or is not refunded, or we're not making money through Acumed billing, you know, they may not have their job after 2 years, so.
And that term is black and white there,
Right.
2-year term or less, yeah.
Because I know there was some consideration, well, you're only giving a guy, well, we're guaranteeing it for 2 years. Yeah, well, that's a lot more than most jobs are guaranteed. So,
So would they actually be on salary, or are we paying them hourly?
I believe it would, go ahead, Darryl.
It's salary, 35,380
Yeah,
is the salary, plus benefits. That is in the FEMA grant.
right.
And, you know, looking through there, I didn't catch it. After the 2 years, if it doesn't work out, of course, you know, I'm not saying they're gone, they can come down as a part paid,
Pay per call,
yeah.
right.
Just this contract for this salary would be.
It's basically a slot, a head count, you know,
So we're not paying overtime on them?
Correct, no.
right, a
Okay.
salary,
Okay, well, I just want to make sure.
right.
I'll make a motion that we approve the firefighter safer grant employment contract.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any more discussion? I don't think we need a roll call for this one, do we? Because, no, wouldn't think. I think we do when we actually hire them. So, all right, no more discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thanks, Daryl. Joanne wanted us, or asked me if we could talk about, and she did mention at the last meeting, about getting some policies passed through the board, and I mean, I mentioned it before. For us to effectively run the township, I mean, we meet, 24 times a year as a board, maybe a few more times for special meetings. You know, they average 2 hours a meeting. So it's hard to run a township this size for this board, you know, only put in 48 hours a year. And the best way to manage it is through policies and procedures. And Joanne's, I believe she was working on this before when Jay was supervisor and she was a trustee, and she didn't finish it, and now she wants to. And this is just up for discussion. Basically, this is the first part of
Chapter 1 out of 8 chapters.
Policy Matters for the MTA, and they have a sample policy. A lot of the stuff we cover is covered in our employee manuals, but we're not employees, and volunteers aren't employees either. So this kind of brings everybody else into the loop.
And they highly recommend that in this book that you do have a employee's manual anyway.
Right.
You know, which ours needs to be updated.
No, actually, I actually, when we had Zick do the contract, I sent him our employee manual, and I asked him if it needs any updating or not. He did go through it, and he said it looks fine the way it is. There's a couple tweaks, like when the older one was written, Jay DeBoyer was the supervisor, and there's a couple places where it said, instead of saying, you know, go to the supervisor for this, or the supervisor shall do this, it named him specifically.
Right.
You know, instead of supervisor,
Yeah.
it says Jay DeBoyer. Well,
Right.
he's at county clerks now, and he's, so there's a couple things we should change from names to office holders. But other than that, he said it was up to date. I think it was about 6 years old, so that seems to be okay as far as the new laws that changed. So, I don't know, do you want to talk?
I would just like to hear some comments from what you've read that I put in your packet. Do you think it's is it something we should pursue here, or you want to get the book and read the book, or take a look
I
at
remember
it?
back when you were starting to work on this, and it was a good idea at the time, and it's too bad that you weren't allowed to finish it. I agree with everything that's in this first chapter that I read so far. I'd like to have a copy of it,
Okay.
and maybe you and I could work on that together too, so.
See, and one thing to remember too is, as I already said, a lot of stuff we already have in place through resolutions.
But it's not formalized
But
yet.
it's not all documented into a policy manual. So I think that's important. It'll save us a lot of problems down the road.
This is more like a guideline in order to do that.
Yes.
Who's going to be the one that's going to dig out all the policies over the years, you know, and when the questions arise and...
Well, it'll be in a manual.
Yeah.
We'll make a manual, just like the
You
fire
need a
department.
policy book to back up
Book,
the
yeah.
resolutions, and then the policy is
Yeah.
to say this was approved by this resolution on this date. Just like if you remember, we did the principles of township governance
Yeah.
excellence. That was back in February, I believe, July of 2013. And of course, we have 2 new names here, and I did type up a new one with the new names. I think the next meeting, maybe we should repass that. I believe everything that is in this. Too bad one person that was on it 3 years ago that signed their name, it didn't work out that way.
Right.
But,
Isn't Tom Kruger spelled wrong?
Yeah, it is.
oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Art.
Yeah. It's a typo. I did this about 2 o'clock today. Yeah.
I think what
Yeah.
Tom Federer was asking is if you're going to be the one that digs up all of those resolutions that are already policies that,
If
They
you
may
want,
not.
if you want me to come in and help you, I
Yeah.
would be glad to.
No, and we have the book on digital, so I can like forward
Okay.
you
Yeah.
chapters
Okay.
1
Yeah.
and 2.
Yep.
I can shoot that to you in an email.
And he's not
You have
referring to the
disc, right?
resolution.
Yeah, it's right in here on the disc.
What's that?
you're not referring to the resolution book.
Right,
you're just-
no, yeah,
Policy matters. but-
yeah,
We
exactly.
can send you information as we move along, or, yeah, a couple chapters at a time. Chapter 4 is the biggest chapter there is. It's about financial
Yeah.
administration.
And a lot of that we've already addressed, but not
Right.
formally as a
Yeah,
board.
right.
We've done it, with our new auditors and in the past couple months, so we'll press on then, right?
Yes, make a
Okay.
motion to press on.
No, yeah, we don't need a
We don't need a
motion.
motion, that's right, we're
You need
just
a
in
motion for the
discussion.
condemned buildings, though, to give them 90 days,
Oh,
60 days to remove the
Yes,
contents.
thank you. You want to do that?
I'll make a motion to notify the owners of the condemned buildings located at 47 South Channel Drive, 8345 Colony Drive, that the board has proceeded with condemning the buildings and that they have 60 days to remove their contents.
On the date of the letter, from the date of the letter, not the meeting.
From the date of the letter.
I think we should send a certified mail.
Certified.
The other ones went certified, the ones in here,
Art?
they are.
Yes, right. That's why I think we should send a certified
Do
mail.
we
I'll
need a
support
sec-
that, is that,
Yeah.
if that's what you're,
Yeah.
Right.
It was a
Yeah.
motion with all that, yeah.
Right, but
Think so?
I think we need to do it certified and 60 days of the date of that, and let it be noted, we're going to give the guy on 7346 his
90
white
days.
90 days.
To respond.
Yes,
The
so,
wife,
The wife.
the ex-wife.
The
yeah,
ex-wife, yeah.
so.
Okay.
All right, we have motion and support. Any more discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, next we got a discussion on Pearl Beach Fishing Pier rules. Just like we've learned in our park next door that we are going to have to come up with some rules, especially as it becomes more popular, which I hope it will. And basically what I did so far, and like we did with the park next door, we have to have the rules, but we have to pass it as an ordinance. Otherwise, the police, they don't have any authority or teeth, If you just say a rule that, you can't clean fish guts out there and a cop sees them, if it's just a rule, the officer doesn't have the authority to tell them, but if it's an ordinance, then they do. It has more teeth in it. So basically, I took the park ordinance that we have, and I took out the no smoking section in the park because, let's face it, people are going to smoke out on the fishing pier. And it's going to be hard to enforce that. And also, I took out the no hunting and fishing section from our park because it is a fishing pier. And I don't think we've had too many problems with people hunting or fishing. Well, I had a guy trying to ice fish in the pond once, but no, I'm just teasing. Don't get me going. Yeah, in the skating rink, drilling a hole wrecked a couple of augers. So I took those two sections out and I added the section on docking rules and on cleaning fish. I also asked our attorney, I haven't obviously gotten back yet, about if we need to address the swimming issue in the ordinance. I haven't heard back from him yet, but we do allow swimming. I was always amazed that we don't have signs, swim at your own risk, or anything like that, or no lifeguard on duty. So I'm waiting to hear from our insurance company and our attorney on that. The insurance company said there's no problem with them swimming, we're covered. But I would think, I would feel better if there was some signage there, and but that really doesn't have to be handled here. That's something that we'll just do. It doesn't have to be handled in the ordinance. I just wanted to bring that up. But I did want to go over the docking rules. I defined it as, docking definition: to bring a ship or boat to a dock, lay up or tie to the dock or pier. Docking mooring, no person shall dock, moor, or tie a boat up to the pier for over 4 hours unless it is emergency. That's just my number I threw out there. If you want it more or less, let me know. No tying up boats to any part of the pier other than spiles and cleats. I do want to put some cleats out there. No tying up to swimming ladders, which they've been doing, handrails, or other parts of the dock or pier.
Spies.
Spies?
Oh, spies, okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna tie up to the spy and pull them in the water?
Yeah,
And the one above it, unless it is
Spiles.
an emergency?
spell check. And
Are we booting our fireboat, or do we make the exception for emergency?
we probably should put a caveat in there that this doesn't include our township-owned boats. Thank you.
I didn't know.
And in parking, under parking too, I put in no overnight parking in the parking lots.
We probably should remove hours of use.
And hours of use,
A lot of people do night fishing.
yes.
That's
it's-
mostly what it's used
It's
for.
not
Yeah.
in the park, it's here anyway,
Right.
so we should probably
Hey, I
just,
took the park rules, Pierre.
probably should just extend the whole thing.
We'll cut that out. Cleaning fish, no cleaning fish or depositing of fish guts on or near the Pearl Beach Fishing Pier property. Does this look like a good start? I can send it off to the attorney and
Sure.
Yeah.
do my, my typos, fix my typos.
Yeah,
It's the athletic field.
I didn't know we had that many spies.
And I'll have a couple other people edit it. We may have an athletic field. And just to let everybody know, we do have a phase 2, which I gotta get the ball rolling and get it done next year. The DDA, well, the Pearl Beach Boulevard, the county owns the road right to the river's edge. There's a fire hydrant just behind Johnny Ligas. We're going to petition, and they verbally said we can do this, but I got to go through a petition that I'm going to have the county, to surrender the road end from the hydrant to the end to the shore to our township. And we can utilize that road for parking, and we can put in about 10 parking spaces. We give the two property owners on the side easements to get into their driveways. And that way we have still a nice area for a little green belt. Actually, I want a sand belt, put in some more sand in the beach and a couple benches there and some more ladders. And when it's done, and if anyone's curious, I do have it. Oh, it's right behind Don on the back wall, what we want to do. If you look at the right side is the pier going out into the water. And the left side is basically Liga's Bar. So it'll give us a room for about 10 parking spaces. Also, I wanted to mention the DDA, Downtown Development Authority, did buy the old North Channel Party Store, and we're taking bids on tearing that down as we speak. And we're gonna, right now, just tear it down and remove the footings, and where there's not asphalt, they're gonna put gravel there. And we're not quite, or I should say, the DDA's not quite sure, or either are we, what we're gonna do. We even thought about having a couple public hearings to suggest ideas. We probably want to put a little bit of parking there. There's been talk about putting a outside a bathroom there, and generate a few ideas, like, you know, what has to be done. But that building is going to be gone by the end of the year. That's basically what's going to happen. I know Daryl liked to use it for training and cut some holes in it. So, so we're okay, other than the typos and the basic rules on the fishing pier. Thank you. I'll hope to have that to ordinance for the next meeting. Talking more about it, we had, people were tying up their boats. We put 4 aluminum swimming ladders in, and people were using it to tie their boats up. And what would happen is, waves go up and down, their boats would get in underneath the steps, and then it would go up, and it was breaking the steps off. And it was bending the aluminum ladders. And aluminum just isn't that strong. And I kind of designed a beefed up steel swimming ladder. It's made with solid pipe, and the ends stick into the mud about 1.5 feet, so there's strength on the bottom too. So if they do tie up, what was happening too, it was pulling it out from the top of the dock. It was cantilever. It was only bolted to the top of the deck, so it was bending the bottom, and that will stop this from happening too. I got 2 quotes for the 4 swimming ladders, and the manufacturers that I got quotes from both said, yeah, there's not going to be a boat that's going to bend these. These are going to be steel. I did not get a quote yet, but since we're already, you know, past Labor Day, instead of just putting them in as steel, you know, we'd have to paint them every year. I want to get a quote also to have them powder coated to match the handrails, and that way it'll be maintenance free and we won't have to do any painting. But right now I got quotes for manufacturing 4 swimming ladders. 2 of them are 9 foot long from the dock to the ground to the bottom, and the other 2 are 7.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of 4 swim ladders from Mechanical Fabricators, Inc. at a total cost of $2,352.
Support.
Okay, a motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next we have Pearl Beach Lions to use the park February 16th to the 22nd, 2016 for the 2nd annual Winter Fest. They did it last year and it was a great success, and they want to continue on doing it. You want to come up, Tim?
Yep, Tim Treppa, Pearl Beach Lions Club, also a Clay Township resident, live on Audubon. First off, I'd like to thank the board for all last year's support. I heard nothing but great things about it. I was down in Florida. I heard great things about it in Florida. Believe it or not, people are calling me, telling me what a great time it is. We're requesting for February 16th to the 22nd. It's going to be the 3rd weekend, whatever that is. I think that's the 19th, 20th, and 21st. We're going to have all the same activities. We're going to have the kids fishing, the chili cook-offs and stuff like that, in the beverage tent for a couple nights, I do believe. We're also working on some new stuff that we're going to try to keep under our hat for a while because of contract negotiations. And it's going to be the same thing with the wrestlers. I think Artie's going to challenge Tom this year.
We're going to tag team somebody.
I was talking about Tom Kruger because
Yeah.
maybe Tom Feder and John Horvath will be team up against you guys.
Wear
looking to
masks
make
and
it-
leotards?
I do it every weekend anyway, what the hell?
We're looking to make it bigger and better, and it's going to be a family-orientated thing with a few things for adults. And we're requesting the early startup just because if we got to push snow around to get the tent set up, stuff like that. And for cleanup, even though I understand that last year it was cleaned up on Sunday evening, just waiting for the tents to come down. We'd like to also thank you guys, and we'd also like to thank all our sponsors and our volunteers. Any other questions?
Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the Pearl Beach Lions Club request to use the Township Park for the Winterfest from February 16th to the 22nd, 2016.
Support.
The motion and support. Any more discussion?
Before you vote, I have to say one other thing I forgot, and it's kind of important. It's not important, it's kind of fun. Last year, we had the figure skaters. We're going to do that again. And this year, we've got 3 guys from the Grand Rapids Griffins are coming to do a little expedition and a little 3-on-3 or 1-on-1 or whatever. And rumor has it they're going to drag a Red Wing with them. I don't know who it is and stuff like that, but
Aren't they going to like do some clinics for?
that's what they're going to do, some clinics and.
kids,
Yeah, for teach kids
teach
how to
them how to
skate,
do some
play hockey.
drills.
Yeah.
Good,
So-
good, sounds good.
Yeah, I tell you, the figure skaters last year really loved it because the fire department does such a great job at grooming that ice. And they don't really have very many chances to skate outside on good ice. And they dug it. They really, they couldn't
They were
say.
saying the ice was top notch.
Yeah, it was. So,
Okay, all in favor? Is that where we're at?
That's where we're at.
yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a motion and support?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Public comments, do we have any public comments? Come on up.
Okay, I have a question and I have a comment.
Your
By
name?
law-
Name,
Your
name and
name?
address.
Your name?
Oh, I see. Kathleen Harrison, 301 Monroe Boulevard, Harson's Island. I have a question and a comment. By law, is it legal to cross the yellow double line while driving? An incident. Last Wednesday about noon, I left my house in Monroe and I turned right, driving down South Channel, while ahead of me was a person on a small motorbike driving at 12 miles an hour. To my discouragement, the double line went all the way to the South Channel in LaCroix, and I had to follow this person all the way to town. During the weekends and the holidays, it gets only worse. I, along with others, telling me stories of them trying to drive to town and having the following in the lane where their car is. You have walkers that just 4 abreast, they just walk and don't get on the grass. You have people riding bikes. You have golf carts not getting over. You have scooters, and they just act like you're not even behind them in a car. One bunch of boys, some girls said, when she honked lightly her horn, they all gave her the finger. People act inconsiderate. This is a street with cars, not a playground to do as you wish. So now with the new double lines, I won't be able to pass, and I have to follow whatever is in front of me. My question is, why is there a no passing from South Channel and Circuit Drive to South Channel LaCroix, but then on the other side of the South Channel, they have the yellow broken line or a solid line? Why do we have the double line?
Well, I believe that the county maintains where is passing and no passing on a county road. So, I mean, I could ask them why, but to answer your question, actually, it is illegal to pass
Correct,
on
I know that. That's why I'm
a double
saying
line.
we'll
Did
have
you
to
give them
put
a
up
little
with this.
toot? I mean,
Yeah, and then they'll be flipping me off.
yeah, well, I would have given them a little toot, and I would probably have broke the law and passed them when it was safe.
I don't remember that being
We
a
didn't hear that,
solid
Art.
double line.
Yeah,
It just got painted here, though,
right.
recently.
Yeah, it did.
Just
So
a couple
I'll-
days ago.
Kathy, I'll
Check
check,
it out.
I'll check with the county road if it actually should be a double line. They could have made a mistake.
On the other side.
Right. It could have been a mistake.
I just don't remember that.
Well, you need a lot of white out.
Double yellow.
Dry, but.
We'll see if we can paint them green and white. And I do want to say too, I mean, technically though, I hear a lot of complaints that, you know, there's people walking or bikers on the road, and technically the pedestrians have right-of-ways over cars, and so do bikes. Bikers have right-of-way over cars, so that's the way it is.
We have the same issue right by the police station. Now that's all nice and paved. They're rollerblading and riding their bikes. And, yeah.
So, any other public comments? I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, moving right along, board member comments. Joanne, you got anything?
Yes, as a member of the Planning Commission and the Board Rep, tomorrow we meet and we're working on amendments, revisions to the special approval land use section. So that's on our agenda for tomorrow night.
Okay,
Amendments to the special,
Special approval land use sections of the ordinance.
I got it.
got it? You got nothing? Okay. Karen?
I have one thing, and I know it's kind of boring, but how are we coming on putting our financial records online?
Yes,
I mean, I know it's not one of the fun things
No, I
like the
know,
pier and
no.
all that, but
I know. Actually, we're gonna have amendments to the budget, and I'll have to put those online on the budget. And we do have our dashboard from last year on there, but,
And that'll be updated again this year.
yeah. Well, I'll bring that up. We'll start talking about getting
that way you wouldn't, we don't get them very often, but they wouldn't have to be printed for.
But the problem is, with BSNA, is there a way that does it so it gets changed, it gets changes, or we have to physically run the reports and upload them? I think we have to
run reports.
We have to
and
run,
upload them.
yeah, we don't have a way so we can just tell BSNA, hey, this is what it is, and as it changes every week, we have to run the reports and upload them.
I mean, could you
Which
do
is-
it like
which could be
once at the
done.
beginning of the month instead
Right.
of, Xeroxing them for everybody?
Well, we still put them in your packets, but, yeah,
I
we
mean, that way the people out there could see.
right, we definitely want to get it online, and it's like, I'm hoping, like this meeting, I'm hoping to get it posted on YouTube too, and, start doing that, and we're scanning the agendas and having that on the website, so we're getting better, that's for sure.
Yeah, Brack liked watching that over in Afghanistan. He
Okay.
thought that was.
Hi, Brack.
That's what I wanted to talk about. I received quite a few favorable comments about the meeting being on YouTube last time.
Right. So,
People can watch it when they want to, they can pause it.
Well, and a lot of people without
Comcast.
can now,
Channel
tune
6
into it
leaves a
on
lot
YouTube.
to be desired.
And
Right,
there's
right.
more and more not
And-
on Comcast.
And I haven't looked, I know when I posted it and put it online, after the first week, I think there was about 850, 900 views, and that was 2 weeks ago. I haven't looked since, so I'd be curious to see how many views that we had. I mean, if we have over 1,000 people watching it, a lot of bored people, no, a lot of interested people on their current, on the township business. Is that it, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Anything?
not a thing.
I just want to mention two things before I let you go.
done.
I'm kind of disappointed in our whole country, all the policemen that's been getting killed. I mean, it's really, really disturbing to me. I think our count is 82, and that could be higher. And, I mean, to the point where it scares me, and we're sending our guys out there. I tell them, God, be careful. I mean, it would be, I don't even want to go there. It's just scary. I just want to mention too, school's open, so be careful of our school buses and the little kids going to school and coming back home. So that's all I have.
Motion to adjourn.
Go Muskrats. Motion to adjourn, support, all in favor, aye. Motion adjourned. Thanks for coming, everybody. It was funny when that guy was here in front of this building. Yeah, I know it.